going, guys? Going for a little ride. I thought you guys could come along. And today I wanted to talk about CBR 125s. I'm gonna do a review on them, or on mine. I'm gonna do it based on miles. So right now my CBR is 98 miles on it, so I'm going to do a 100-mile review, 200-mile review, and then maybe like a 500-mile review and a 1,000-mile review on the bike itself, just so you guys get an idea of what I think of the bike and what maybe you'll think about the bike. So when I first got it, which was obviously not that long ago, my opinion's changed quite a bit. Bear with me. So what's different? Well, firstly I need to explain to you guys a few things. First thing being that this bike's still in its braking period. Obviously with 98 miles on the clock, it's damn near a brand new bike. I did buy it from new. I've put these 100 miles on there myself, but because it's new I can't take it over 6,500 RPM. I've been taking it to 7 because I think that's reasonable, but bear in mind, obviously I haven't gone above that rev range on this bike yet. But I have ridden other 125s, so don't let that think that I haven't experienced that. So, first thing about the bike, this is the 2015 model. It's very different to the 2010 model in that the fairings down here are much wider than they were on the previous bike. In 2008, the CBR 125 was fuel injected. 2007 models used to run on a carburetor. This one is obviously fuel injected, because it's a 2015 model. So, which way should we go? Let's go this way. So, the other things that you get are a nice digital dash. The tank is much bigger. The foot pegs are in a different position. So these are just, you know, new things versus the old things on the new bike versus the old bike. The throttle response, that's a big thing to talk about. The throttle response on this is very different to that on the of the 2007 CBR, because with the carburetor the throttle response isn't as good. It's a little bit more relaxed. On this bike it's quite snappy for a 125 actually. I mean, you guys can see, I'll give it a quick. It's on point. That's something I really enjoy about the bike. So the other bike that I used to have was the Yamaha YZF-R 125, and I had it in the burning blue, which was blue and white and black in places. And that was great. It was a great bike. But one thing I will say about it, which a lot of people, let's crawl past these horses very quickly. So a lot of people say this against the CBR 600RR and against the YZF-R 6, is that the CBR is much more user friendly. Which way do I want to go actually? Crap. Let's go this way, I think. Yeah, so it's a lot more friendly, and I can say the same with the CBR 125R and the R125. The CBR is a lot more confidence inspiring, a lot more confidence inspiring. I can get on this CBR and I gotta say straight away, you know, these are cold, brand new tires, and I feel safe on the bike. I feel really sturdy on the bike. it feels planted because it's so much bigger and heavier than it was. Well, maybe not heavier, but because it's so much bigger than it was, and maybe the weight's in a different place to the older CBRs, the 2010 backwards. It feels a lot more stable. It feels like a bigger bike, and you would have thought the YZF would have had that, but it didn't necessarily. I didn't feel 100% safe on that bike, and other people might disagree with me, and that's totally fine. It's just my opinion. But the CBR 600R, 125R feels a lot more safe to me. And maybe that's just me and my limited riding experience. I've not been riding all that long. When I was 16, I had a moped, which was horrible. And then when I was 17, I had the R125. And now I was driving between 18 and 22, and 23 next month, and I've just got another bike. And the main reason being is because the commute to work, and they're a lot more fun. So I got back on this bike. I'll use this for a year and then I'll buy a 600. But just being back on it, this is my first time in 4 years, and I am more confident now than I was throughout the entire year riding the R125. And other people, like I say, other people might think differently. That's just my 2 cents. So if you're looking to pick up a 125 and you're watching this video because you're not sure whether you should get the CBR or not, here's a few things to consider. So this looks much better than the old CBR 125. Much better. It looks almost as good as the R125. Some people might think it looks better, in which case, great. Other things to factor in. This bike doesn't make as much power as the R125. The R125 actually hits the 14.6 brake horsepower limit on the CVT. This does not. Not at all, actually. So this probably makes somewhere around 11 or 12 horsepower. I had mine from factory fitted with the Scorpion full race exhaust, but it's road legal. You might argue because I've had the when I get the air filter replaced and I've had the exhaust done, there's more air coming in, and there's also more air going, or the exhaust allows for more air to go out. So it might be worth bearing in mind that this probably now makes close to that 14 brake horsepower anyway, which is great. So other things about the CBR, apart from it being really easy to ride, really nice, really nice to ride, confidence inspiring. Yeah. Other than all of those facts, there's obviously what you're looking at in terms of any other 125. So you've got your £17 a year tax, which is nothing. You've got your really low insurance, So again, guys, I've got to be careful because I don't know what the camera sounds like at this speed, and in addition to that, I also don't know, I can't go above 6,500 RPM for now. So let's talk about this bike in terms of power below that. What's the power like up to that 6,000 RPM? Well, that's good. I mean, it's like any new 125 out there, I wouldn't put them on the highway. They're not necessarily the best thing for that. But in other respects, around the city, it's got plenty of power. I find it's got really good mid-range power actually for a 125. So, you don't necessarily have to be in, the ideal gear, and you can still make some adjustments to your speed. And I mean, really, when you're in the city, like if you're in Bristol, Manchester, London, Birmingham, anywhere like that in the UK, then you're only going to be doing sort of like 30-40 miles per hour anyway, in which case this bike is just, it's enough. I mean, if you wanted to get there a bit quicker, you could obviously pick up something like a 250, but for now, this thing's plenty for where I live. The only reason I'm getting a 600 would be because I want to get more power and I want to get on the highway as well. But this bike so far at 100 miles, guys, I'm in love with it. Even after owning the R125 for a year, this bike is great. I mean, even at under 6,000 RPM, I've been having so much fun being able to ride this thing around. And I think a lot of it is just riding a motorcycle. But if you're considering picking this bike up, I say do it. You won't regret it. If you're in the UK, Honda have a deal on at the moment where you pay £99 deposit. Well, that doesn't look good. You pay £99 deposit and then you pay £100 every month for the next 3 years, so 36 months. It's not going to break the bank, guys. Anybody with a job should be able to afford this bike depending on their running costs. So it's just worth bearing that in mind. But yeah, I highly recommend it. If you've got the money, I guess the question is, if you've got the money, do you get a R125 over this? Because there are now Duke 125s, there are so many 125s out there. Which one do you get? Honestly, if you're new to riding, and I know you guys have probably heard this so many times from so many other videos, but get the CBR. The CBR is so friendly. You can be so confident with it, you can snake it around, getting it low in corners. I've got this thing so much lower in a week of riding than I did the R125 ever in the year I was riding. I have so much more confidence, and this is going to do me wonders for when I go out to my next size bike. So I think that's what I'm going to do, and I'm pretty much where I need to be now, so I'm going to wrap this up. I'll be doing a 200 mile review soon. I'll let you guys know as soon as that's done. But first I've got to put 200 miles on the bike. And I guess the one that everybody's going to be waiting for is the 600 mile review, because after the 600 miles I'll actually be able to use this thing's full rev range, which is going to be awesome because this thing's already a beast.